Money in the Bank just concluded for one of WWE's premium live events, and we started rating and recording our pay-per-views and premium live events since 2020. So Phil, I actually just before I sent you the link, just went through and looked back to see how many pay-per-views and premium live events that we have each graded where we had multiple A+ matches. Spoiler alert, there's only been 3. Today was the third.
Wow.
Third. So we have SummerSlam from last year, and we have Day One. Those two each had 2 A+ that we each gave at least 2 different matches. Today, we either had 2 or 3 for Money in the Bank, depending on your overall feelings towards Liv Morgan. But we'll get right into that. So just throwing it out there, people. We grade every premium live event, and this is one of our higher scoring ones we've ever had. So that's why I'm wearing my Viking Raiders good guy shirt. Not that most people can see it hiding, is so that because I felt like this was a very Raider-like pay-per-view premium live event. I guess we'll start off with Vince being Vince, because that's how the show ended. The second we both saw number 8 coming in being Theory, we knew exactly what was going to happen. And I hate saying this is why it happened, because I don't want it to be this obvious, but he's so easily hated. He is so undeserving. His character plays it up perfectly, and now he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it's just as simple as that. And knowing how people are going to hate on him to cause that much more heat to build his character up that much more. Phil, am I wrong about Theory?
I can't believe that this guy's 22 or 23 years old, and he's the biggest heel in WWE this year. There's no fans that like him at all. He doesn't play for any age group. Everyone hates him. My 11-year-old screaming at the TV, no, not him, not him. Everybody hates him. Every age group, every demographic, both sexes. It doesn't matter. Everyone hates Theory. I mean, Vince is doing something right. That's what he wants. He wants a complete guy that everybody hates as the heel. And damn it, he got one.
I mean, that right there is story number 1. The story, since we're on that segment, we'll talk about the ladder match itself. We both graded it as an A+, where we had 2.
All the participants. Yes.
Yes. Oh, even Omos. Okay, I thought Omos was going to provide little to zero. He actually, I thought, was a good showing as far as his ceiling is concerned. With that said, Riddle had 2 of the spots of the night where, holy crap, the backflip off of the super ladder, and then also the RKO, Seth Rollins on the receiving end. And you know how I feel towards Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. It's just obvious their chemistry is 10.0 perfect together. Overall, great match itself. And we saw the highway robbery coming from a mile away.
Oh, yeah. But the match itself was definitely an A+. I hate the ending. The ending made me want to throw up on my mouth, but I think it was written that way. So me wanting to puke all over the TV, hey, I think that's what Vince wanted.
And you can't have the quote-unquote good guys or baby faces or whatever you want to call it win every single match on every single premium live event. It would not make for an interesting show, and it's going to build it up so that next year's WrestleMania, I'm calling it now, people, that somebody by the name of John Cena breaks Ric Flair's record against one of the 2 belts against Theory, because Roman Reigns will be holding on to the other one against The Rock.
I think Theory does get a belt somehow, some way, and I guess it just depends upon Vince's feelings with Ric Flair. I've often said that no one gets over 16 as long as Ric's breathing. but I think that Vince is kind of pissed at Rick right now, and somebody just might break that ceiling of 16.
And Mania being in Hollywood, it's got too perfect of a setup, and the hatreds towards Theory. We can keep going on about that. Let's switch topics and talk about the women's side. A lot of people could not get behind the Ronda Rousey and Natalya match, mostly because of Natalya and her promo cutting abilities or her acting abilities, not her in-ring abilities itself. I was actually okay with the match. I gave it a steady, strong B, nothing over the top, but nothing horrendous either. But then the surprise of the night, Liv Morgan cashing in her Money in the Bank. Phil, you texted me and you're like, maybe Ronda's knee is really hurt, and we'll have to do some digging and research. But what's this, like 3 years in a row now that the women's Money in the Bank winner has cashed in either same night or the very next day on Raw? Because last year it was Nikki ASH.
People can slam Natalya all they want. She's been a mainstay now for what, 15 years? Yeah. And I was texting you right in there. I said, this is an old school match. This match right here, you could have easily placed it in 2098, 2003. It was a match in that era. All that was missing was some juice. Really and truly, it was a hardcore, old school wrestling match that you could tell they were going at it and they knew how to, they trained the same way. And I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that type of match. I kind of enjoy it because it's different. That match stood itself apart from any other match of the night because it was so old school. So even though I would grade it a B, just because I liked it, I might even edge it up to a B plus as far as the match goes. I thought they did a great job in ring. Neither one of those ladies can cut a promo, but that's not what you want. I mean, they could probably kick anybody's ass outside the ring if you want the truth about it. But
absolutely,
they're not a promo match. Both of them need a manager, quite frankly. They need a Lou Albano. But still, I thought it was a solid match. I thought that maybe, we're debating this now, and we were talking about it during the match. I thought Ronda hurt her knee when she went outside the ring. She landed weird on that leg. It took all of her weight, and it kind of looked like it bent in the wrong direction. And I swear I thought her mouth something about her knee at the end of the match. And it just looked like an complete impromptu that Vince decided to take the belt off of her right then and there. It just didn't look planned to me.
And maybe Ronda's going away for a couple months this summer. Who knows? Maybe how good of an acting are you that you can hobble when you're one time, but throughout consecutively, even when you're performing moves is a different thing. She might have really done something to that knee. And yes, I agree with you. I think that was somebody sitting at the table right on the backside of the ring entrance saying, okay, time to cash in. I agree with you.
And why? They could easily, I guess Ronda needs somebody for SummerSlam. They could easily run it back for SummerSlam if there's not a problem. So, whatever. I didn't think, and this is why I think that her knee really was hurt, because the cash-in match sucked. It wasn't a match. It was one move and then a weak little takedown by Liv. That did not get sold at all. I think that by far was the worst, if you want to call that a match. That was the worst of the night. I do love Liv winning it. I think she's well deserving. She's been busting her ass now for about a year and a half, getting better and better and better and getting her following. So I think her getting the belt is fantastic.
I completely agree. She didn't do any time, because most people, when they cash in, do a finishing move of some sort.
Yes.
She did not perform a finisher, so maybe it was just to keep Ronda safe because of possible said injury. I don't know. All right, I agree with you about the whole. I don't care that the match only went 28 seconds. It just seemed funny that there was no no finisher performed, and maybe it was just to keep. I don't know. We're speculating. as the week goes by, we'll learn more and we'll do research and probably blow up each other's phones about that. But neither here nor there. The women's Money in the Bank match, since we're kind of transitioning with that one itself, again, great opening. You had to open with the women's match, and it was everything you would hoped it would be and strong it could be, and perfect that once again Becky had her fingers on the briefcase to continue her storyline of a downhill spiral where she just misses out once again. So great script writing as well. Phil, you and I, we've been saying this since we've been doing this since 2020. We don't really criticize most superstars itself. We criticize the script writers. I have to give props throughout the night towards the script writing, and I hate myself for doing that.
I was interested in everything except for the Raw SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought the rest of it, the script, the booking in it, everything else was right on spot.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we thought was going to be the stealing of the night, the match of the night, the Usos against the Street Profits. And first off, sidebar, Montez Ford really has buffed up because he was a skinny little dude. As my dad would have called him, a little ducky. And now he's really buffed up where I'm thinking he's the next Shawn Michaels in the making, which would make Angelo Dawkins the Marty Jannetty, and they better not be guests on Brutus Barber Beefcake's Barbershop anytime soon. But we thought that was the spot of the night where he did a swanton flip over the turnbuckle itself from a running part. Little do we know what Riddle is going to do later. Yes, I think we both agree it was time for the Usos to lose, but that didn't happen. Maybe during SummerSlam it will. But
they could have had the Usos lose and said they just lost the Raw title since it was a Raw team.
Yeah.
I mean, the Street Profits deserved to win that match. They really did.
Yeah. And both of them have really stepped their game up from when they were called up, however long it's been now, a year and a half, 2 years, however long.
Yeah. When they came up, they already had the promos down.
Oh,
they're one of the best promo teams around.
Yeah.
Their in-ring work needed work. Now they're up there on the level of the New Day. And it used to be, I think we went through a 2-year period where the Usos and the New Day were putting on classics every week. Well, now you can throw the Street Profits in there that they could put on a classic with the Usos too. Usos are professionals, all right? They're at the top of their game. And I would say the last 4 years, the Usos are the best tag team out there. They can make anyone look good. And when you have another team like Street Profits that can bring it too, now they're making each other look good. And that's how you get an A+ match where the crowd's out there chanting holy shit all the time. And this is awesome. And it really is.
I was trying to think of, there was like a triangle from 2 years ago of who was the third team that was also bringing it for a while that was in the mix. And sometimes they would face the Usos and sometimes they face the New Day. But ultimately, yes.
The Bar.
Yeah, Cesaro. God, once again, my favorites. Hold the bar at my thumb out there.
That's right. Hey, so, but there you go. That's another classic team with two great in-ring performers that can also do promos. I mean, Sheamus does a hell of a promo. And that's the shame about WWE is that they don't focus enough on their tag teams when they have some really good workers out there right now, and they're just not taking advantage of it.
And this was supposed to be a setup premium live event. I still want to say the phrase pay-per-view, but premium live event for now their stadium shows, because they're going to have 2 consecutive stadium shows. We'll be in Nashville, folks.
We're going to do that one live. SummerSlam is live.
For next 4 weeks from now, where SummerSlam's in, and then it's Clash at the Castle, where Roman Reigns has already been told he's going to face Drew McIntyre in the main event. So that I don't want to get too far off, but this pay-per-view was supposed to be just a setup pay-per-view, and we have 3 A-level, A-plus level matches, and that's not even just saying the Bobby Lashley destruction, which people loved over Theory, but now that match has little to no meaning, but just to put the title on or put the belt on Bobby Lashley now seems almost insignificant.
Yeah, but I applaud that. I think Bobby Lashley needs a belt on him.
He does.
And I think he needs to be, it's good for Raw because he's going to be the face of Raw defending it every week. And I think he needs to be, a super type competitor there. And then I do think that he needs to take on Roman Reigns. I would love to see him take on Roman Reigns in a pay-per-view or live event.
What I'm reading on the internet during the matches is what people are already looking forward to at Survivor Series is Gunther versus Bobby Lashley.
Okay, you just crossed the line with the whole Gunther thing because he will forever be Walter to me. And it's the same with Butch runs in there. No, he will forever be Pete Dunne. All right.
I'm trying to stay current with names.
It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work when you're a wrestling fan and you've watched guys for years and they come in and they get a stupid ass name like whoever in what's that, Max, whatever that LA Knight is. Cut me some slack here. Cut me some slack. You act like that WWE only exists in a bubble. Hell no. If you're a wrestling fan, you're watching other shows. You're watching what other stuff happens out there. And when you see a big star come over, like the American Nightmare, you don't change your freaking name.
Diesel is no longer Diesel. We all know him as Kevin Nash. And when he went over to WCW, he was Kevin Nash.
Yep.
Wolf back up. Any final thoughts?
Hey, I had horrible expectations on tonight's Money in the Bank. I loved it. They exceeded my expectations easily. I had an enjoyable night watching 3.5 hours of wrestling. It was fantastic. Well, 3 hours and 10 minutes or so. It was fantastic. And all the performers did a great job. WWE played it up good. I always nail creative when they screw up and make things boring. But I also want to give them credit when they turn in a great match and a great night in Las Vegas, and they sure as heck did that. So creative did a great job. The booking did great, and the performers followed it up with the great performances, and I loved it.
Like and subscribe and comment below on what your thoughts were with the 2 Money in the Bank winners and the cash-ins, and we'll go from there. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.